Hey everybody, I'm Simmons. This is Philosophy for Where We Find Ourselves, July 23rd, 2021. So I had a free afternoon, having finished up a couple essays I needed to write the last few days. So I decided I would try a new river I had never been to before up here in North Carolina. And let's just say it didn't go well. Since I had never been here before, I started where the trout section begins and drove downstream trying to find a place to park. Well, there was no access points until the very end of the fishable stretch. So I parked there and decided, I'll hike back up to the beginning and then just fish downstream, which I do a lot. Well, problem was there were no access points even by foot. So I walked about 3 miles back upstream, tried a bunch of places to get down to the river, couldn't make it work. All private property, had to turn around, walk all the way back down 3 miles to my truck. And so I've been fishing down here by my truck a little bit, but not catching anything because I'm now below where it is that the trout tend to be. So although I'm disappointed, a little bit frustrated, it was still a lovely day out in the woods, and that's always something worthwhile. But it started me thinking about Socrates and his mode of conversation. Now, you may be familiar with Socrates and the idea of the Socratic method, where he asks questions to his conversation partner, his interlocutor, and these questions guide the conversation. And that's important, learning to ask questions, to probe others, to think with them, hear what they have to say in order to judge what to say next. But I want to stress a different thing about this Socratic method, and that is the trial and error involved. Socrates doesn't exactly know where he's going to need to take the conversation until he gets a response from his conversation partner. In other words, he has to keep fishing the river in order to figure out how best to fish it. So when we are in conversations with other people, one of the things that we often can do is think that we know where it needs to go, we know what the conclusions that we need to draw are, and here's how we're going to get them there. The problem is that may not work. They may say things that throw us for a loop. There may be no access points that we thought we could get to by walking. And I think this is especially relevant right now regarding the vaccine, regarding encouraging our neighbors to still be vigilant about the coronavirus. And I've really been getting frustrated, almost depressed, to be honest, kind of running out of steam. How else can I say what is so patently obvious to me? Well, it turns out that which is obvious to me may not be obvious to someone else. Someone living on this river probably knows it's obvious that you don't walk upstream to try to get in. In fact, they know exactly where to fish and how to fish. I don't know that yet because this is my first time here. The same is true with conversation. It's important that we not only give space to listen to others and ask good questions to motivate them to tell us where they stand. It's also important that we realize it's a process of trial and error. Sometimes what we say just falls flat. Other times what we say motivates a response and an opening that allows us to continue forward towards truth, goodness, and beauty. So maybe we can learn this lesson about fishing and also about conversation from Socrates. It takes a bunch of times to fish a river, to learn how to fish a river. It takes a lot of trial and error in conversation to learn how best to encourage others to move forward. So I hope this is helpful to you. It certainly is to me. It's redeeming an otherwise frustrating day. So take care. I'll see you next time, unless the piano falls on our heads.